Hey guys, so I'm glad that the sculpture broke because it will serve as a caution for you guys. I seem to forget this time and time again that whenever I start sculpting, I put it away when I'm done for the day and then I let it sit for a few days. And what happens is with this type of clay, it hardens a little bit with the cold air and it tends to crack. See up there, the foot broke off there, which I have here. But you want to not have so much time in between you sculpting and finishing your sculpture because of all the cold air. But I wanted to show you guys how to fix this little problem, get it back on track. So I'm actually going to make this foot look like this foot. That is our goal. So let's start by putting this guy back together. If you just kind of push it on there a little bit, it'll kind of stick. And once it does that, you can just take your wooden tool and then blend the seams. You want to always have support on the other side. I'm using my pinky here to push slightly up against on the other side here so that it doesn't fall right off. You want to have something for it to lean on. Notice how I'm using my pinky as a stopping point for the foot. And it's just a matter of blending it all the way around. Okay, so now that we got it attached, we can smooth it out later with our finger. Always making sure to keep pressure on the other end with the finger so you don't push it right off. Now we can start making those toes. So I'm using this tool. It's the rubber tip tool. This is to make the details in the toes. So I'm going to make indentations here, always using my pinky as a stopping point so I don't break it off, hopefully. So I'm going to put a dot in between each toe. And then I like to use a needle tool at this point to make the rest of the details. So this is a needle tool. I literally made this tool. This part is just literally the end of a sewing needle. I also actually used a pin needle used for sewing. I just cut the pin head off. I rolled this shape in the clay, stuck the needle in there. I cured it for about half an hour, and then I put crazy glue on top. So now I have my needle tool. This one I'm going to use to make the details in the toes, like this. Just going to make the lines right from the hole that I made. See, I saw this crack right here. That's because the clay is so cold and I let it sit for so long. There it is. So that is my advice to you. Give me a second while I silence my electronic toys here. Alright. No more sound effect interruptions. So, make the line from hole to the end of the foot. Yeah, see, it's cracking all over the place. It's annoying. So I just take my wood tool and blend it in before I go any further, so it doesn't get any more difficult to blend later on once I've already added the details. It's annoying to try and blend when you already have details you've put on there that you don't want to mess up. So you do it in the what I call ugly stage. It's being a little stinker. Keeps wanting to crack all the way around. Using my pinky so I can push down and the toe doesn't move. That should be alright. I'm going to take the opposite side of my wood tool, make the indentations on the end of the feet here, and I'll let you know why in a second. It's really just for alignment of the toes. So now you got those indentations. Now you have a guide for the other side of the foot, so you don't have to guess. That way it's here, so I want to make the toes out here, and I actually going to use X-Acto knife to cut the toes. I hope that toe doesn't fall off. Oh, there it goes. Well, at least you guys will be able to see how I fix that. I just hope this doesn't happen to every toe. There goes the second one. Fantastic. Let's do this. Use our wood tool. You know what? I'm going to rest her on this pile of polyfill at an angle so I don't have to hold her. And I can just work on blending the toes, trying to save them. So I'm using my thumb to prevent it from this toe from moving while I push the needle in. I'm actually going to do that with all these guys. And twist it so it doesn't stick. It comes right out. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Now, to attach the big toe. What I'm actually going to do to reattach the big toe is I'm going to use polypaste. Polypaste is almost exactly what it says. It's a polymer clay glue that you can use on your uncured or unbaked clay. I'm going to use this so I can have something sticky in between the toe and the foot so it'll actually stay as I'm blending it, and you can get polypaste there. I actually got this one at my local Hobby Lobby store. So I'm going to apply a little bit of this with my ballpoint stylus here. It's not focusing, but that's fine. So I'll take just a little bit. Literally a tiny bit, because it's just going to be on the small tiny toe. Just whatever picks them up. There we go. Literally this much. That's it. So I just twist the stylus and the glue stays on there. It's really workable paste, so you can kind of mold it as you go along. And then we'll take our big toe and attach this puppy back on there. Ah, that was upside down. I'm breaking this thing all over the place. It's so cold. The clay, that is. So I'm just going to blend this as best as I can right now. Trying to not let the frustration of all these body parts breaking get to me. Alright, focus. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see because I'm looking through the viewfinder of the camera and it looks really bright, but I'm hoping when I put this on the computer screen it won't look as washed out as it does on the camera while I'm recording. Because I want you guys to see. But you know what, I'm glad we're running into all these issues because I can help you guys get through it. So you guys don't freak out on your own if this didn't happen. Now at least you guys will have this to reference anytime you get a crack or a break in this same scenario. So it's looking pretty good. Looks like I got rid of all the seams. Alright. There it is. So at this point, I'm literally just gonna round everything out. Try to not make the edges look so jagged. I'm going to flip the X-Acto blade on this opposite side because this opposite side is flatter because the blade's on this side, so it will create more room in between this pinky toe because I don't want it to be pushed all the way up against it. See what I mean? There's more room in there now because of the flat edge of the blade. Yeah, but the top side here. See that right there? So I'm just going to keep blending this. And always remember to try to work on all sides simultaneously. Don't try to work too much on one side, so once you've done some here, flip her back over and work on this side too, so it all comes together at the same time. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to push the bottom of the foot here in to create that toe indentation on the bottom. It's going to be kind of tricky because since the clay is cold, I don't want to push so much that it cracks the toes right off. So let's see if we can do this nice and easy. Using your pinky as support, very gently just push in at the base of the lines there. You know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the ballpoint instead. Because it's round, it won't be as harsh. And I think it'll create a much more truer indentation on the bottom of the foot. Hey, it's working. You can just kind of keep this going until you're satisfied with the depth of the bottom of the foot. See, I put too much pressure and I cracked the front of the foot, the ankle. But it's no big deal, I can just push it back. But Let's check this out. There we go. It's getting there. So now I'm just going to clean it up. I'm going to use my favorite wood tool for that. So, backside, just going to clean up these sections here. Nice and easy, because you don't want, if you go too fast and get too careless, you can snap something off again. And we're trying to avoid double work. Why? Because we want to get somewhere. See, these two stuck together too much, so I have to cut them apart again. And flip the X-Acto blade over. Create more space in between the toes, so that my wood tool can go back in there and round the edges out, just like that. Just gonna soften these edges here. Another thing I forgot to mention is that this clay, it's Sculpey clay, but it's, or maybe it's Primo, but it's a special effects clay. So it's a different texture and it works and feels differently than the regular clay, which is why it's not working exactly how we want it to. Cracking and so forth. Very brittle and delicate. Whereas if you were using a regular flesh tone Pro Sculpt, you would have none of these problems. And if you guys follow me online and are familiar with my website, you know which piece this is that I'm working on. I won't tell you. Go check her out though. She is on the current creation section on my website. It's www.fdmj-creations.org. And then just click on the current creation tab and you will see her there. Her work in progress pictures. See, I'm just fixing the brake again, doing double work again, but that foot's coming along pretty good. Now it's just a matter of smoothing this out over and over again until it's at the point that you like it, where it looks realistic to you and you get the level of detail you want. Now I know in most videos this is where most artists stop the video, and then when the video comes back the foot's done. But I never really liked that, because it left me with the question of, well, how did you do that? In my opinion, that's why I'm doing this video, so you guys know how I did what I did. So I'm just making the indentations of the toes that go up to the foot. like that. And these will be smoothed out, but gotta get them on there. Keep smoothing these creases. And you know what, it just hit me. Eventually in the near future, I'll create another video on how to actually make the foot from scratch, because I realized that I started this video when the foot was already formed. So I'll also do that, but at least in this video you guys will get these details as a benefit, hopefully. Okay, so my camera is dying a little bit, so I'm going to pause here, and when I come back, this foot will be in the same exact state, so I don't rob you guys of any information. I promise. Be right back, guys. And we're back on a different day. It's actually daylight outside, so you can tell the light's much better in here. But as promised, I didn't touch the foot. It's still the same as we left it last. So let's get some level of detail on here. I don't want this foot to be that detailed because this piece is going to be a very simplistic piece, and having too many details will actually distract from the look that I want it to have. So let's finish shaping this to the way we want it. Now I'm a little concerned because since it is a different day, the clay is cold again. What I like to do is just hold it in between my fingers and let the heat of my body kind of warm up the clay a little bit, so it's not as hard to work with. I'm not pressing hard, I'm just touching it. Alright, so let's round these toes out. I want to be very careful because my goal is to not snap these toes off. Rounding the corners. smoothing out as much as you can so that you don't have to sand the sculpture after it's been cured, baked, and hardened. Just get all those creases out. Indentations in the clay that you don't want there. Say I wasn't careful and pinky toe got cracked. So these are the kind of problems you can run into. And these wouldn't really be happening if you were working, again, with a softer clay. And if you hadn't let your sculpture sit for so long that the clay gets cold and cracks it much easier, just like that. Having to fix this ankle over and over again. You know what? To make it easier, I'm just going to pull it out, set her aside. I'm just going to work on this foot by itself. This can be so much easier. So at this point, I'm going to start posing my foot in the position I want it on the final sculpture. Very slowly and gently pose your toes. To ensure that they stay on the foot and you don't crack them off like I have been. So I'm going to use the wood tool and push them into position. I want them to kind of fan down. I think it'd be a fun look for the feet on this piece. Alright, that fan is getting there. And the rest is, of course, just smoothing out these imperfections, adding a little more shape where you deem necessary. To my X-Acto knife so I can get in there and push them closer together. Flip it over the dull side so it doesn't cut into anything. Push the toes in. I want to push these down more to have a more dramatic fan effect. I'm going to use this side because it's broader, more round than the opposite side. And that's the look I'm going for. I think we did pretty good. So just keep in mind that at this point we have the general shape of the foot. It's posed in the pose that we wanted on, or that I wanted on for the sculpture, but it would be in your pose. And you could just literally go around the foot, start adding the minute details, smoothing it out as much as you can, and then when done, you would just attach this back on the leg, blend the seams with the wood tool, and if it's at a point where it's ready to be baked, then put it in your oven, harden it, and do what you gotta do. There is a blending video that I have on my YouTube channel that will show you how to blend clay. So once you attach this back to the foot, then you can watch that video on how to blend the seams. I showed it on this video a little bit. You can kind of get the idea, but if you want to see it more in depth, you can go to that video. It's a body blending video. But this is it. There's the one, and there's the other foot. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful and that you guys were able to see everything I was doing. Feel free to let me know what you guys think, any kind of feedback to make these how-to videos better for you guys, more informative for you guys. And I actually do have a poll going on my website, the main page, on what would be the most beneficial how-to videos for my fellow beginners. And so you can go on there and vote, and then the highest voted topic will get a video of it made so that you guys can have that resource. Thanks for watching, everybody.